Two Paths. My name is J.O. Benjamin and I am your host, and I'm here with a special guest, none other than writer, actor, and producer, Terayle Hill.
Hey.
Oh my gosh, so Terayle, how you feeling? How's your heart?
My heart is open. I'm excited to be here. It's good to see you. I'm happy to be on Paths. Thank you guys for the opportunity. I'm just happy to be here.
I love it. So I heard that you actually started out as a musician, so we got our beatbox ready.
Hey.
Is you ready on there?
Hey.
You ain't got no contract though.
Hey.
I'm gonna have to stop
we
that.
ain't got the contract.
So let's hop into your path.
Okay,
How
sounds
did
good.
you start?
Man, that's a good question. I ask myself that all the time. People most know me for acting, but I'm from Moreno Valley, California, in the IE, and grew up in a house full of creatives. My brother, rest in peace, he was one of the most phenomenal actors, singers I ever met. I got to be his roommate for a long time. But I watched him kind of live out loud when it came to his expression. And my little sisters also had that genealogy where they could just sing. They both sound like canaries. But I couldn't sing. So I felt like I just had nothing to contribute until high school when I kind of took my poetry more serious, and that transitioned into me doing music. So exiting the tail half of high school, outside of the interest I had in film, because I knew I wanted to be in the film industry behind the scenes, I was also getting my pen acclimated with scripts. I was involved in the AXO program, submitted a play I wrote in high school, won an award, didn't get first, but I won an award, so that was cool. That affirmed me in my script writing. But then, like I said, music and poetry kind of became that catalyst to want to even do anything creative, especially when I found out, okay, I can't sing, but I can rap. So, I can still fit in the household.
What was the first song you attempted to sing?
The first song I attempted to sing, Love, Music Soul Child. Like when I liked this girl in high school, I was like, love, me.
It's okay, me.
Where you going?
More.
Nah, but like I said, my brother and my sisters, they got the voice. I can't sing, but I feel like we all have that creative click. We all can do something.
Yeah.
I guess in a way I'm the black sheep. So.
That's so inspiring because I know some of our viewers who are watching who may feel that their talents are not the same. It's like the family talent.
Right.
Whether it's, trying to be a Jackson 5 in the group. And they're like, dang, I can't be in the group, but what can I do?
That was my whole growing up experience. In Mobile, it ain't really too many resources. This is a relatively small city, so it ain't like student centers and stuff like that where you can just go after school and figure some stuff out and figure out what you're interested in. Yeah. Hopefully we can put that in the city at some point, but basically you kind of would go home and based on what you had around you, that's what you did. Yeah. So for us, it was kind of like, we need to make our fun, and that's what we did. And once I really started to get into it, it just became something I wanted for the rest of my life. So music, until I didn't. Let me be very clear. People do not know me for music. I'm giving the full context.
Yes.
But music was the thing that gave me the confidence to try anything in high school. So when I ended up getting accepted to Clark Atlanta and leaving Moreno Valley, I had the option to hone in on expounding on whatever my interests were. I knew, like I said, I wanted to work in the film industry, so writing and directing was what I wanted. I went to school in the Mass Media Arts Department, specifically concentrating in film and television. Had never been in front of the camera before, but came across, shout out Tina Shakia, first ever project I ever did was called College Boyfriends. It was like this improv, reality kind of web series that was taking place at Clark Atlanta. They had just did season 1 while I was a freshman, but going into season 2, they're like, hey, maybe you should audition. I mean, blah, 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 blah. At that point, I had just been in the film department messing with the cameras because I always wanted to be behind the camera.
Did you say while you were a freshman?
A freshman in college.
A freshman in college?
My first audition was sophomore year of college. They were shooting, so my first time acting was 2013.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you, literally from high school right into the film program, you've been acting, you've been in front of the camera.
In a way, like I said, 2012, it was all music for me. And then I went to Atlanta and then everything changed. Music ended up fizzling to the back. It became this insecure thing I could do, just like growing up. I always felt like my music just didn't have a place in the house. Yeah. Not because it made me feel that way, but because it was so different from what everybody else could do. Coming to Atlanta from the West Coast, It's so very different.
It's different.
So
it's
like,
different
you know,
out
I
here.
had to go through these, I've had a couple performances here and there freshman year that kind of made me want to just step out of it completely. And that void was filled with acting.
Well, let's talk about that, right?
Yeah.
So how did those experiences, well, you kind of spoke about it, right?
Yeah.
Those experiences kind of made you shy away
Yeah.
from being very confident, having that talent up front. And so then you went into acting.
Right.
And it was because of your network with your friend
Yeah.
who kind of pulled you in. So what's
Right.
the importance and value of making sure you have that peer network in this industry?
Well, to be honest with you, at that point in college, I wasn't necessarily in the industry at that point.
Yeah.
So, but I will say what was most important about that time was I felt very safe to try it.
Yeah.
Again, sophomore year of college, there wasn't no TV. My first audition was junior year of college, and I didn't book anything until a month before I graduated from college, where I booked The Quad on BET, and we ironically was shooting right there in the AUC. So I ain't even have to like go nowhere. After class, I just shot over the set. So it just turned into something much more serious, but the initial push came from the interest in the first place. I think if you listen into that voice in your head that says what you think you can do, if you take it seriously and take the proper channels and don't BS it, you could actually make it something. It ended up being the thing that people most know me for as of today. People most know me for acting, even though that was literally the one thing I was most afraid of to do. It was the thing that I had never tried, the thing I still have never really trained in. And I'm grateful for it because clearly God placed it in me for a reason. Maybe it's supposed to get me and be a vehicle to where I'm supposed to be next, or increase the platform or whatever, but I also feel fulfilled, so I know it's a part of my purpose. So I found that in just trying it out. And that network of people that you mentioned definitely made it safe. So, you know, keeping people around that encourage you is important.
Having that safe space,
Exactly.
right? That environment where you feel free to learn.
Hey,
Go
I'm
HBCUs.
biased.
Hate you. I am biased. That environment.
What up?
Where you can learn. But you mentioned taking your craft serious.
Yes.
What does that look like in terms of training and being able to grow your skill set?
And that's where the initial insecurity came from with acting, because I could tell you what it looked like. My brother, Tevin, he was training since he was a kid. He was, man, I remember he was a part of band. He just never had an issue putting himself out there. He was the one that my mom made sing everywhere. And he was also the one volunteering to do so. So it wasn't as if he didn't want to. It was like, what you need? And he would hook it up, but it was that watching that and like, man, it was something I felt on the inside. Like when we went home, feel like in the room we would just be jamming and coming up with all the creative stuff. But that foundation of kind of watching somebody, I think everybody needs a mentor is what I'm basically saying.
Yeah.
I didn't view my brother as my mentor, but I did in a way see a blueprint of what hard work looked like. Yeah. Creative-wise. I know what you have to do to go certain places, especially since he was a thespian. He wasn't TV, he was theater. And around the time that he was, unfortunately, towards the passing of his life, he was on a traveling stage play in Canada, but he was close to Broadway. So like I'd watched him work for years. And in the same way that people study Kobe, Jordan, you know, that cleaner mindset, you know, shout out Tim Grover, that book, Relentless, changed my life. It was that relentless attitude I watched him have, as well as a lot of my peers that I still align myself with today, that I found to be the common denominator in what changed my life. Just watching their acting go. Because again, there is no foundation for acting outside of me just being interested in it. I feel like TV raised me. So I want to be, I'm going to take Will Smith's humor and somehow figure out how to have Shamar Moore walk. He got all the ladies. Like, I feel like I would just pull from everybody that I like watching on TV. My favorite actor, Wesley Snipes. So like when it came to the Sinister stuff, I would just kind of be mimicking this stuff as a little kid. But I didn't know that was me training.
Yeah.
And I still kind of can feel that familiarity to this day when I'm on set. So, you know, that foundation is important.
Speaking of when you're on set, I mean, you came here from off of a set. So could you tell us a little bit about what works are you doing now?
Well, I actually can talk about it now. I'm shooting season 3 of Step Up as we speak. We're working on the last 2 weeks. Yeah, as we speaking on this, we are 11 days from wrap, but I've been on here since December 31st. So it's the longest time I've been committed to one production. We're going on 5.5 months. And this is my first time being a series regular, which basically means that you have a lead storyline. You might not be in every episode, like I'm not in every episode this season, but I have a lead storyline, and it's the first time that's ever happened. So I had an overnight shoot last night. Shout out to my boys. Ivan was like, man, you need to go to sleep because you gotta be a human. I was like, word. So I gotta go, I have another overnight shoot tonight, but you know what I'm saying? Like me and Ivan talk about, you know what I'm saying? If we showing up for stars, we showing up for everybody's. So it's just some extra hours that Kobe putting in, and Tevin putting in, and anybody I look up to putting in. You know, I'm not exempt from that hard work.
Yeah, everybody's.
Everybody's.
Since we're talking about everybody's.
Everybody's.
Could you tell the people a little bit more about what everybody's is?
I'll keep it short.
Inspo.
Okay, I'll keep it short because my dog ain't with me. But long story short, my brother Ivan and I came together on this baby of ours called Everybody's Incorporated, which is a 6-branch media company, one of which is one of the divisions is a film company, another one is a network, another one's apparel line. We're working on a nonprofit, but you know how COVID went kind of slowed down that process.
Yeah.
But we still have a publishing company as well as a network. So we feel good about what it is we're doing. Oh, wait, I think I said network twice. We have a music group. It's not like a company, label. We more so sponsor artists throughout the country for what we can afford to do now, obviously, but you know, expansion is the name of the game. So hopefully we can create that community of creatives that can push the culture forward.
Oh my goodness. So, artist, actor, producer, entrepreneur, right? It sounds like icon in the making to me.
Man.
It sounds like the baby steps to icon in the making to me. Not even baby steps, really, like the giant steps.
I receive it, but I'm not in it for that. I kind of feel like this is what's most important is the mark we leave while we're here.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot of life lessons through kind of just watching how life works. I ain't gonna be like, oh, life is hard. But I will say, for the way that I've looked at life, you can't let success go to your head, and you can't let failure go to your heart.
Yeah.
So I kind of look at every opportunity kind of even keel. I don't let anything kind of get to me, especially if it's time to work. Even if it is a bunch of compliments, I'm super grateful for it, obviously, but the job ain't done. So I'm super grateful. Icon ain't the goal. I receive it because I think I can do a lot of positive with that title, but it's not a title I'm looking for. I'm kind of just here for the work.
And you are doing a lot of great work. I mean, people right now tuned in on Past are like, how does he do it all? How is he playing in this industry, this industry, this industry? Fell in love with the passion, came back to a passion, fell out of love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so could you talk to us more about, you know, an experience that you've had that might have been like a low point for you, or a point in which a space that was hard to navigate?
I'll say, I think my brother's obvious, so I won't go there. I'll go somewhere else. I graduated from Clark Atlanta in 2016, and I booked my first TV show, but I had no vision for my career. And I was content with the quantity of bookings because for me, it was like, I didn't even think I could do TV. And then, like, I think in 2017, I might have booked like 8 or 9 TV shows. Now, here's the thing. In the world of TV, that's great quantity-wise, but if you want to feel fulfilled, sometimes doing a bunch of co-stars ain't what makes you excited waking up. And when I say co-star, it's not a diminishing thing at all, but there's levels to it. Like I said, it's co-star. Usually they're gonna be co-star. Co-star sounds good, but so co-star sound good. It is very good. Let me not downplay it, but I think so. Co-star, a lot of times they're not too crazy pivotal to the storyline, but they're there and it's important that they're there. A lot of times I have 1 line or under 5 or 1 episode. You might get a recurring after that, and then you might move up to a guest star where your rate changes or you're more pivotal to the storyline. For example, I did Chicago PD and Blue Bloods. Those were guest star slots. And even though those are like series, not anthology series, because there's a storyline if you're a series regular on that project, but if you're a co-star, you're just coming in for the case of that episode. For me, I want to be the detectives. I want to be there, you know what I'm saying? Like every single day. But that's work. It takes a while to get to that. So, you know, in 2017, it was co-star after co-star after co-star after co-star. And then I think I booked 3 movies too, but in those movies it was like 1 or 2 scenes each. So it was like Love, Simon, I think that year. Superfly that year. No, we were shooting that in 20.
Superfly. You see how he just drops them in?
I'm not even trying
I hope if you're at home and pass, you're going to have to play this back a couple times.
Nah.
If he just drop, he just be like, oh yeah, and then I was in this, and then I was in... What were you doing in Superfly?
Snow Patrol. I had one job. Show up, get shot up, get out. No, it was actually really fun. Again, I don't ever want to like downplay nothing. I always enjoyed the roles that I got to play.
Yeah.
Again though, like if you feel like you've been on the bench and you're ready to just hop in, I'm like everybody else. I'm competitive. I love what I do.
Yeah.
So, you know, even though it wasn't something I initially trained in, I'm trying to go as hard as possible to get, you know, you don't have to go to college and to get drafted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like for me, everything I try to do, I just try to do at a high level. Because why else am I waking up in the morning to do something at a low level? Like I want to feel challenged. I want to feel like I'm adding to something. You know what I'm saying? So. It was a string of co-stars, it was a lot of opportunities, but it just wasn't fulfilling me enough because I wasn't playing the characters that used to inspire me as a kid.
Who are those characters?
Oh man, anything Wesley Snipes did, that was always my favorite because whether he was good or bad, he was the guy that you wanted to pay attention to in the scene. To this day, it's that way. Coming to America, I feel that way. He just did that joint with Eddie Murphy. Dolomite Is My Name. I watched Wesley Snipes. I'm like, man, how you do it? Like, you know,
somebody at home is watching you. They're watching Terayle Hill, and they're like, how does he do it?
Man,
what does your day-to-day look like?
Well, time management is key. And it depends if I'm on set or if I'm not. And most times, at least in this point in my career, I'm not usually on set. So if I'm not on set, I'm usually up in the morning. Relatively early, sometime before like 6 a.m., but I've always been an early riser, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not really about when you wake up, in my opinion, all the time, unless you kind of need that solo time. For me, I need that solo time. I need to get up 4 to 6:30 and do the things that I want to do because I don't want to wake up for somebody else. I want to wake up for me. So 3, 4 to 6.
Wait. We need that again. That sounds like the Path tweetable. Wait a minute.
Word? Okay.
You don't want to wake up for somebody else.
Well, I mean,
you want to wake up for me.
If you think about it, most Americans, even if they have a dream that seems unattainable, to sustain that dream, they need to be able to take care of their overhead, which means they have a job. If your job starts at 8 o'clock, are you getting up at 7:30? Or are you getting up at 5 to do what you want to do and then work in that dream? You know what I'm saying? I'll go make your dream happen if you're going to pay my bills, but I'm still going to need the time in the day to get myself further too so that I don't always have to make your dream come true. I can make my dreams come true too.
Yeah.
So usually I'm up early in the morning for that solo time. Nobody calling my phone, nobody texting me. I'm in the gym shooting, listening to albums, studying music, catching my own rebounds, catching the sweat, like doing 5 things at once. But at the same time,
But it's all for you.
It's all for me. It's all for me.
Yeah.
And then when I get home, whatever my day looks like, it looks like. Now that me and Ivan have this company up and moving, usually it's just that for the rest of the day. Unless, like I said, there's more work to do or unless I'm assisting somebody else. But for the most part, I've gotten to this place where, and because I've been shooting all year, I have not experienced what it's like to finish a job and then have the time in the day to kind of do what I want to do as an entrepreneur. Because we launched in the middle of the season. So I still don't really know what it's like to be a full-time everybody's employee, but give it about 2 weeks and my hours are still going to be as such. I'm up in the morning, I'm trying to use at least 18 hours of the 24 hours I have to do whatever. And I think that's people get caught up. We look at people's lives and be like, oh, well, they're doing this. No, they're just working from this time to this time like you have the option to.
Yeah.
And maybe you're not doing exactly what they're doing, but you're still using the hours, right? So if you're using the time that everybody else is using effectively, you can still get to where you're trying to go. So, you know, that's how you expand. You just put forth that 10,000 hours to perfect something. And if you can squeeze in multiple things at a time, then do that. You know what I'm saying? If you can catch a sweat, study music, and do all the things between 4 to 6, then do that. You know what I'm saying? And then just constantly just trying to get better. Reading is important. I feel like reading is very important.
What's the last book you read?
I reread Relentless. I always do that at least like once every 6 months. Tim Grover, but the book that really changed my life was Charlemagne and God, Black Privilege, Opportunity Comes to Those Who Create It. And I think that's what really broke up in my head how to really divvy up my time. Kids, fast forward. Charlemagne talks about the analogy of putting weed in the bag, or basically paying your dues. If you have an internship and it's not paid and you don't take it, well, maybe you can't afford to take the internship because you do have bills and you have to find ways. But at the same time, there are levels to it, to where you can't go to series regularly. You can get these co-stars out the way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can't go to platinum or gold, or you ain't even got the confidence to put out your first project yet. Look how good you think you are. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's levels to everything that you want to try, and I think once you accept that about yourself, or accept what it would take to go where it is you think you can go, it's just about when you get there.
So talking about putting out projects, why now has music found its place in your life again, or in more in the mainstream? So
here's the connector, right? Music or whatever you're supposed to do for your life will always chase you. So in college in 2012, I didn't put down music more than I did just take away the part of myself that felt like I had to show people. I did it for me. And throughout those years, I didn't write all the time. I was living through college and you know, good things, bad things. I think between my project in high school and my project in college, I had a lot of things that happened in that 8 to 9 year span that gave me a lot to write about, but I didn't do any processing until my brother passed in 2018. And when he passed, I kind of made it in my mind, like, you know, God gives you these gifts for a reason. And if you're not optimizing those gifts while you have them, sometimes you don't have the option to use them no more. And that never occurred to me. My brother was 26 when he passed, and I was 24 at the time, shooting season 2 a step up. So now I'm doing season 3 in full circle. I'm writing music for the show now.
Wow.
And that's what I mean by it follows you. You know, I feel like I didn't keep my pen as sharp as I could have, but whenever I felt that urge from God, from the universe, of just listening to myself to, hey man, you should just brush up on your pen a little bit. Like, I don't know what told me to just study battle rap all pandemic, but that really came in handy when I needed to write some battle rap, not on, you know, for a previous project that came, or when I had to write for a different character, or whatever the case. Like, it was something that I had to put my time into, and either way, whether I felt like it was good or not, I had to stand by it. Name is in the credits. What you gonna do about it? You like it or not?
Name is in the credits.
And people know how to spell you. They can tell it's you. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you ain't walking around seeing it's spelled a way to where you gotta take it serious, or else you're gonna get called out on your inability to do it well. Yeah. So I think that personal challenge in itself keeps me accountable. And that's why I never put the pen down. I just didn't care to live outwardly. And then my brother passed, and I just felt like, well, what's the point of having this if I'm not going to share it?
Yeah.
I felt like the biggest lesson I learned was, you know, they say mind, body, and spirit. When you go, the body returns to the soil. Spirit goes to the next realm. And I feel like your mind stays above ground. Everybody you touched, everybody you ever met, any projects you left behind, anything you ever taught somebody, anybody who has something positive to say about you once you're gone. Think about the people that we talk about every day: Kobe, Nipsey, Pac, Biggie. It's the work that they left behind, their mind, that we appreciate, because though their physical is no longer with us, their mind is. And my brother's mind is with me every day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what it is. Watching it happen the way it did kept me accountable, but also changed the way that I looked at life and the way that I take my craft. So, yeah, I mean, that's the tweet. Really, it's just we go through lines, and we go through life, and we learn the lessons we learn, and we choose to use the lessons to our advantage, or we let them crush us. And I had been letting it crush me for a long time, and then I realized, past the survivor's guilt of losing somebody, what are you going to do with this now? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this is going to hurt whether you decide to work hard or not. So we gonna cry in this Nissan Sentra. We're gonna cry in this. No, I still got the Sentra. You better be in the Sentra. But I've been in the Sentra 2015. I'm still rolling it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I feel better in the car. because I'm me inside the car now. I'm not driving myself to somebody else's gig. I'm driving myself to my gig. So it feels different.
So question, how did they react, agent included, when you dropped an album? You dropped a project. Like, how was everybody like, wait a minute, I'm booking you for gigs with acting. I didn't even know you could be, were you a rapper? Like, what?
Now, here's the thing. I'll be honest. My first time rapping on camera was actually with my dog, Christian Robinson, for this short film called Bloom that we did like 4 or 5 years ago. And full circle, thinking about that job now, because I didn't even think about Bloom. I ain't thought about Bloom in a long time. I had to write a verse then. And then I booked this project called Available Wife where I had to write a verse then. And now Step Up, I had to write a bunch of verses. And my agents have known I was capable, but what it could do for me was based on my belief in myself.
Yeah.
So 2015, I felt like, you want me to rap? I think I can battle rap. And the short film that I did, I still don't think the verse was all of that, but that's on me. And I don't know the future of that short or if it's gonna turn into anything more, but if I would have believed in myself the way I believe in myself now back then, you know what I mean? I feel like at least my part, it might have been something I could like really, really, really appreciate. And I think that keeps me accountable to just working harder, you know what I'm saying? Putting the weed in the bag, you know what I'm saying? Making it a thing. Yeah, Charlamagne the God. Dr. Charlamagne the God.
Dr. Charlamagne the God.
Yeah, but yeah, that's really what it is. I had to find my confidence and my belief in the project, and now that my agents and everybody who represents me knows what I can do, they've always known that, but I didn't. Yeah. So the change was me, it wasn't them. And I know that now. You just live and you learn. So,
oh my goodness. Yeah. So what trainings or workshops are you doing right now to hone in on your craft? Because I would assume having a lot of people behind you and backing you, there had to have been something that you were doing just naturally or, not even like subconsciously that you were working on.
Well, I'll be honest. Like I said, I have never taken a formal acting class. I did this season. I'm
sorry, could you say that again? You've never done what?
I've never taken a formal acting class before.
Never, people. So if you are at home, you are tuned in to Pass right now. Your path, you over here trying to figure out how to pay for that class. It may not be in your path.
Well,
it just may not.
You just made my point. Like you kind of made my segue. I've never taken a formal acting class, but I've trained on my own.
Yes.
Whatever personally works. If it's YouTube videos, that works too. I will say, 4 or 5 years ago, I started taping auditions for free. In fact, I don't remember charging anybody for auditions. They've given tips before, but I feel like I've watched, for example, I'll put it like this.
What?
Someone comes in and brings some sides, right? And it's a page of, you know what I'm saying, Jamal, 2 pages. I'm reading Jamal, 2 pages. I did my audition yesterday. I taped 7 more people for Jamal, and I'm like, how you come up with that? And then you start to see how many different ways people can take a character. You kind of just round it out. It's like when Kobe would watch film. You know what I mean? It's film study. You can do that. You know what I mean? There are organic ways to get better at what you do. And that's just on the acting side. Like I said, this season I did do some private training to prep for certain episodes. I think on 2 episodes specifically, my manager, Ron, linked me with Miss Mariska Phillips. Thank you so much. And she helped prepare my first day on set because it was like 11 pages and some really important stuff. And then like also another scene which kind of set the tone for the whole season. So I've had, now I know what it's like, and I hope when the season's over I can really get in the gym with this and take a real acting class. But for everything else that I do, I study music the same way anybody else who does it professionally tries to. That's no different. And of course, as an actor, you, in my opinion, should train for the roles that you want. So I want to get into stunts. I want to get into action. So I'm eating a certain way and I'm working out a certain way so that I can stay ready. So if the opportunity comes, I don't have to get ready. And then also, there's a thing too, if you have tattoos, guys, and you want to do stunts, it's really hard for people to double you if you have a bunch of tattoos. So you ain't got no choice if you want to do action to not learn it. So that's just, you know, in my free time, that's what I'm doing. I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna be in Creed 3, how am I gonna learn how to box? You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna work with The Rock, okay, how am I gonna feel? If I wanna play The Rock's son, what would he look like? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I wanna play a track star, is my 40 time all right? If I wanna, I can't. Last night was an overnight shoot, and there were some things happened in the overnight shoot that I needed to learn how to do before I did it, and I'm grateful that I learned how to do certain things before I did it, and that's my point. When the producers walk up and say, hey, can you handle this? And you say yes, I think it makes a difference to how serious they take you.
Yeah.
And you can't expect people to take you more serious than you do. So now it's kind of like it's kind of like acting in everybody's. Everybody's includes music now because music is everybody's. Entrepreneurship, filmmaking, that is everybody's. Everything that's creative goes into that pot, in my opinion. But if it's not acting, it's everybody's. And setting that clear line of what both require is important. If you need 8 hours over here, you better find 8 hours over here if you want to be just as good at both.
Yeah.
And if that means you got to make some cuts, Pac said it real good at the end of Mortal Men, Kendrick Lamar, Pimp a Butterfly. These are the times, like between 25, 30, 35. This is your years to get your sprint. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to work hard right now. I party in my 30s. And whoever can't understand that, then it must not have ever been as broke. But like, life for me, just, it's better than this. It wasn't fun growing up. It's getting fun now. Once I get to where I want to be, platform-wise, I have the freedom to choose. And I'm okay with earning that. I haven't earned that freedom to just kind of be out and do whatever I want yet, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Once I don't have no debt, credit score good, college loans paid off, and I got a car I don't have to pay for, my mom does too. Now I can kind of take my foot off the gas pedal, but only a little bit because, you know, you gotta just read the zones. I don't need to sprint no more, I'm just gonna sprint less. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't 75, I'm at 60. I'm coasting until it's time, but you gotta keep yourself ready for whatever. So I think because life has been so unpredictable, I treat my career that way. And one of my best friends, Donnie, he always taught me, bro, if you're not ready for whatever comes across your desk and you believe in God, so put the two together,
yeah.
Who you think is sending it across your desk? Then who's at fault when it doesn't come home to nest? It's on you every time. So I'm not okay with the idea of getting to heaven and seeing this gigantic closet of blessings I could have got if I was obedient. It's not a fun reality for me. The idea of that is scary. So while I'm here for the next 100 years, I'm gonna put my foot in the most of things I can, and that's not off of nothing but just a standard I try to set for myself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness! I mean, you dropped too many gems there. I really needed a pen and paper. What's in these discs, y'all? Because
Man.
what?
I know you personally. You cold too. I need to be interviewing you.
No, not at all. You literally taped people's I mean, that's the brilliance, right? You taped people's auditions for the same role. And I would imagine like you're getting a full perspective.
And it's after I've already taped it. It was never I'm about to go reshoot this because he killed it. It was always like on some, because mind you, I ain't just taping mine. I'm taping women, children. I think I'm not even BSing because I just cleared out my Google Drive that I used to tape on. Like, it's at least 500 auditions. And it wasn't too many times that I taped for the same role that somebody else was taping for, but I use it as an example how an actor could benefit from just watching film.
From watching.
Even if it's a role you ain't even if it's a role you'll never read for. If it's an old man, you think he's gonna come in one way, you take 4 or 5 men who fit that description and notice that they all approached it differently. You just kind of looking at it from the world of, there's a lot of different places you can go with what's on paper. And it's based on who you are.
Who you are,
and
your
how far you can take it.
Yeah, like what you're bringing to the role.
So that's why I just try to take it, try to figure out how far I could take everything I get the opportunity to take.
I mean, you're watching films. You're reading books. You're over here connected in the community, right?
Trying to be.
You're foot on the gas, opening doors and creating your own lane. I mean, if someone is at home right now, past, and they are, you know, in that space where they are trying to motivate themselves, trying to put the foot on the gas, trying to do that. And you know, we just got through a global pandemic.
Right.
And
we're still in it.
we were still in it.
We're still 6 feet apart.
Right, we still apart. Y'all see me leaning in.
Right.
How, and if you feel comfortable sharing, but a lot of people lost a lot of people during this global pandemic.
Yeah.
What is some words of advice or encouragement that you would share with someone who may be taking a pause or a break during this global pandemic from pursuing their interests as an actor?
I think everybody in the pandemic learned really quick that whatever your plan was can change at any moment.
Yeah.
And we don't have too many choices that we have control over in this life. But one thing you can choose to do is work. You can choose your work ethic level, and what's in it for you, I think, is what's most important. So the advice is, a lot of people think putting in work begets money, fame, whatever the case, and that is their reward. But the reward for hard work is the opportunity itself.
Yeah.
If you get a chance to show somebody what you can do, that's because you worked hard enough to get in front of the person. Now, when you get there, whether or not you take that opportunity home, sometimes that ain't up to you. But the opportunity, the opportunity is that result. People go 18, 19 years doing suicides and drills for the opportunity to go to the NBA.
Yeah.
They don't even get there most times. But the reward was getting to sit at the draft and prove whether or not this is something you can or can't.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that life has taught me, especially since I've had a lot of stupid reasons why I haven't been able to go certain places.
What's the stupidest?
The stupidest?
What's the stupidest reason?
Let me see how I can word this. In my field, you really don't know what people are looking for. If you're acting or if you're doing music, you kind of just have to be available to whatever people are looking for, which means you have to be kind of whoever you need to be in the moment. And sometimes you can be that person and little things get in the way, like personal appearance or height or things like that. Like, I'm serious. There's a lot of reasons why you may not go certain places on camera or just even in real life. But needless to say, when you put the hours into something, and someone's like, hey, yo, I believe you're capable of this. I'm gonna allow you the opportunity to show that you are. You gotta be ready when someone hands you that ticket to try it, because even if you don't step up and do the best that you can do, or even if the opportunity doesn't come home for you, if you tried your best, the opportunity's coming around because the universe is responding to your prayers. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, God, I wanna be here. Okay, show me. Show me. If you want the universe to take you seriously, you gotta be serious about your prayers. You gotta show through your actions what that looks like. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
They say faith without works is dead.
It's dead. It's not even a thing. It's not even faith. It's a waste of time. I think if you spend time just wanting a reality that you're not willing to fight for, you're a dreamer. You gotta wake up to get where you're trying to go. And it's okay to have dreams, but if you don't wake up and make them goals, then you're not going to reap the benefits of those. And I spent 8, 9 years running from music. I know better than anybody what it's like to just run from something that's literally sometimes right behind you every step of the way. And I often think like, damn, like, what if I just took myself more seriously when I got to college, or didn't allow little things to get in the way of my own confidence? But I think life happens the way it's supposed to happen, and you go through things for other people, which is why I'm relatively honest with you. Like, if anybody is watching this and feels like, yeah, I'm insecure about this, okay, well, write down what you can change about what you don't like, and leave everything else on the list, because that's not up to you. Focus on piping those things up. Team is as strong as the weakest player, then get your stats up, boy.
Get your stats up, boy. Get your stats up.
Get your stats up, bro. It's like 2K, bro. You want to run faster, get your attributes high, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, get your reps in. Get stronger at what you do. You can't, this is like any other muscle. Creativity is a muscle. You're going to lift or you're not going to lift. And your workload and what you can do is going to be based off of the results, the time that you put in.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think if anybody is focused, dead set on getting from point A to point B, the only thing keeping them from that point is whether or not they believe they can actually get there. So you got to put in the work every single day and stand by that work. Like, this was the best I could do. And the next time you're asked to do it, you'll do it better than that. Every time.
I feel like I just took a master class.
Get out of here.
Like, this is the past class.
I'm telling you stuff you know.
Come on, stop playing. This is the past class, y'all. Oh my goodness. Before you leave, you did mention that you have to let things go. What was the hardest thing for you to let go as you transitioned into this industry?
Survivors in the industry? No, I'd still say that survivor's guilt.
Same.
Survivor's guilt. Because to be honest with you, and it's happened multiple times in my career, because when I went to college, I had survivor's guilt. People that I know who grew up in the city, that I personally hung out with, a lot of them did not go or get to leave the city. And much like them, my first time leaving the state of California, outside of going to Vegas to see my grandmama, was college. So I had a culture shock coming to Atlanta. It's a brand new spot. I never even left the state before. Exactly. So I had guilt about being able to have these resources that people I love or people I feel more qualified or more confident. You know, I had friends back home who could do music that now I'm around in music and now I don't want to do it no more. And they looking at me like, bro, how you not taking this serious no more? If I could be in Atlanta, I would.
Yeah.
Boom. And then, of course, you book your first project, then you book your second project, or you book your first movie, or even now where I'm at today, there's an opportunity in front of me to actually matter to a storyline. And that's something I fought for a long time. But then I think about my brother, who I feel like work harder than everybody I know. And he doesn't have the option to go to auditions anymore to even get that opportunity. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think you're always going to have something to get over. It's just about whether or not you're going to use it as a catalyst or as an excuse. And I've chose to just use things as a catalyst because what other option do I have if I really feel like I'm a creative? You know what I'm saying? I got to get this off. So let's get it off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You want to die empty.
I want to die empty. I want to die empty and I want to die fulfilled. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Terayle.
Thank you.
Oh my! Look, y'all. This is the past show, but really this is Terayle.
Stop playing, man.
This episode was dedicated purely just to Terayle.
This episode is dedicated to y'all. Take everything you want to do serious.
Yeah.
And yo, inner city, I know what it is. I know how hard things is. I know how this life can go. I know what it's like to lose people. I lost 8 people in 2020 alone. I know what it's like to just, I'm still 6 figures in debt, as we say. Now, you know, I'm not as weird. Like, how are you going to sit there and say it? It's college debt, but I'm telling you guys this because I feel like we go through things for other people. I'm very transparent. I'm telling you today, even as I am credible enough to be on the show, I still don't feel like I've gotten or scratched the surface of where I want to go. You know what I'm saying? I still got things I'm trying to pay back. I still got life to catch up on, but it feels so much better standing by myself as opposed to standing by myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I stand by my craft. I know what I can do. And for what I can't do, I'm trying my hardest to learn so that I can be who I'm supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And for anybody watching, I hope that you take that too. There is no excuse for you not to go where you want to go outside of you just deciding not to get there. You will clear that debt. You will cope with that grief. You will get to where you're trying to go. That college is going to call you back, and it's not going to be to pay them back. It's going to be to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be a beautiful situation for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not where I want to be, but I know exactly where I want to go. So I just pray that everybody watching this takes that and past podcast, we live.
Yeah, so before you leave us, like, is there anything else going on in your life? I heard hyena sounds somewhere, but I wanted to make sure I was hearing them.
I think you was on that project, if I'm not mistaken.
Somewhere?
Hyena is out now on all streaming platforms under my first name, Terayle, which is also my artist name.
It's out now?
It's out now.
We need everybody to take a pause right now, pull your phone out wherever you are. If you're at work, on break, at home, on the couch, in the toilet, wherever you are, I need you to pull your phone out right now and download Hyena. Thanks.
Yeah, go to the description. And there's going to be a director's cut coming very soon.
Director's cut?
Yep. We're going to 26 tracks, and there's going to be some revised tracks, some new verses, and we're working on a few things. I'm really excited.
Working on a few things. You know people about to drop major stuff, and they be like, we working on a few things. It's really a whole project.
God is good, man.
Whole other project. God is good.
God is good, bro. I just want to do the work. That's all I care about.
I just want to do the work.
Do the work. That's all.
Okay, before you leave, I need to end on a super light note, right?
Okay.
So this desk, I'm sure you had one of these in your school.
Yeah,
you remember
it's
them?
wobbly like this too.
What was the one item in here that was like your go-to item? Was it water? Was it hot Cheetos? It was water?
It was water.
I'm not believing it.
It was water.
It was water.
It was water. I was a good kid.
Not Kool-Aid, Capri Suns.
I ain't like Capri Suns.
Okay.
See, here's the thing. It wasn't like Capri Suns was cool. I ain't gonna hold you, but I ain't have ice in here. I want no warm Capri Sun. No, I had the water on me. I had my notebook with me because again, I was a poet kid, so I definitely was able to like just kind of get mine. And back then, they didn't have phones in school. So.
They didn't. You wrote your tweet down, balled it up, and like somebody on the back end was like,
finish that bar. Throw it to the homies. Thank y'all. I appreciate it.
Yes, there you have it. We had Terayle Hill on the show. Thank you so much for joining and really sharing your story, your truth. Your truth for that matter. Your vulnerability in this space is priceless.
Appreciate it.
It is priceless to everyone who's tuned in right now.
That means the world. Thank you. I'm just happy to be here. Thank you.
It's my heart tinkle. Okay. Again, I am your host, J. Hill Benjamin, and I am so excited to be here, and we are excited to see you next week as well. So tune in again with us on Pass.
Peace, peace, peace. Pass Podcast. We lit. Hey.